Hello, this is Casey from the Kenton County Public Library at the Covington branch here in our local history and genealogy department. We're going to continue our series today of our Adventures in the Archives video segment. Today our collection we're going to be featured is the Virginia Bennett collection. A lot of that deals with the steamboats and history of the Ohio River. It's a really fun collection. I thought it would be kind of appropriate as this is sort of the start of summer. So I'll go into a little bit of the history of who she was and what she did with the riverboats here in Covington, Newport area, and what her connection is with that. So for those who don't know, Virginia Bennett was born May 16, 1924 in Campbell County, Kentucky to Elmer and Elaine Bennett. Her father, Elmer, actually worked for the Green Line Steamboat Company, so that's probably where she learned a lot about steamboats and her love for the river history as well. Virginia worked her entire life in the inland river industry, usually starting at around the age of 20. She worked as an office and pay clerk for the Green Line Steamboat Company and as an assistant purser aboard the Delta Queen. Later years, she worked as an office clerk, a dispatcher, and a paymaster for the Columbia Marine Services, where she earned the name the Harbor Mother. Bennett worked for the B&B Riverboats from 1983 until her retirement in 1991. She was also involved in the planning of the first Tall Stacks Festival in 1988 and served as the Grand Marshal of the 2003 Tall Stacks Parade of Boats. She died December 4th, 2013. Her funeral was held actually on a B&B Riverboat as well. Her ashes are actually set afloat near the navigation light that bears her name at mile 471. So a lot of this collection is probably one of our biggest here in the archive. It's about 7 or 8 boxes of material, and one box of that being oversized. I know when we actually received this collection, a lot of it was already organized by Virginia herself. She had a really great ability to organize and complete this whole collection, so there wasn't that much to be done to actually get it ready for people to take a look at. So today I'm just going to go over a little bit of what is included in the collection. A lot of it is scrapbooks and photograph books like this, so correspondence, a lot of different licenses from steamboat captains and pilots that she knew. So I'll show you a little bit what we have here. This scrapbook right here, or photo album, is a more, I think this is probably from the 90s, so it's a little bit more modern steamboats, probably ones that you've seen on the Ohio River going past if you're down at Smale or over on Newport on the levee. And it's a really kind of fun look at some of the steamboats during the 90s. A lot of it is just images of the steamboat. You can see inside kind of what it looks like. I'm sure it's probably not quite like this today, but you can kind of see the very 90s style of the dining room there. One of an older photograph albums she has, this actually shows a couple of captains from the Green Line Steamboat Company. I believe one of the captains here is labeled as Chris Green. So this would have been one of the earliest books that she collected from. And again, it's just a really fun look at what time was like during that time period. Life on the river, people that worked there their whole lives, a really good kind of snapshot of what people did during that time period if they worked on these steamboats. Something that was really kind of fun that's within the collection is her diary from 1937. I believe Virginia would have been about 13 years old when she took notes or wrote in this diary. If you know anything about Northern Kentucky history, 1937 would have been the year of the flood. She mentions a lot of things that went on during that time period, what happened during the flood of 1937, how that kind of affected her as a teenager. I really did like this entry, though. This is from July 9th, very appropriate for the weather we're having now. She just says, "It is hot. It is about 98 degrees here. Don't know whether I'm going away anytime soon." So she doesn't seem like a fan of the hot weather, but This is also a really fun look into what her life was like as a teenager back in the 1930s. And kind of going along with that, this is also really kind of fun to look at. This was her cub license from 1937. So again, she would have only been about 12 or 13 years old. And a cub pilot license basically just means that she was an apprentice on a steamboat. So she got her experience early and got her cub license. So that's here in the collection as well. And lastly, she has a lot of collections of licenses and sort of certificates from other captains that she met while working on the river boats. This is a inspector's license to maids of river steamers from a man named Edgar Meek. She has a lot of his licenses in this book here. But it says that he, with this license, he is able to travel western and southern rivers on towing steamers only. So a lot of stuff like this is also included in the collection of different people that worked on the river as well that she grew to know from her job there. Again, this is a really, really big collection. There's lots of different materials included there. We have a lot of VHS tapes of tall stacks, which I'm trying to get online. A lot of younger people probably don't remember that festival, but for people that grew up in the area, they probably recall that. And if you went there, I'm sure you probably knew it was a lot of fun. So we're trying to get that online as well. In general, this is probably one of my favorite collections. Every time I look at it, I find something new. So definitely encourage you to, if you want to take a look at the collection. They're always free to take a look at in the archive. A lot of these videos are here to promote our archive special collections, and it's not just for researchers or academics. Anybody can come and say, hey, that looks like a really fun collection, can I take a look at that? And we'll be glad to pull material for you to take a look at and see. Just to wrap things up, I also want to mention that our virtual history tour of southern Kenton County is still going on. We had about 2 stops we've already posted online to YouTube, I believe, and we have about 5 left. All those videos of historic homes can be found on our YouTube channel and then the Kenton Library Archives Facebook group. And we are also making some Instagram posts as well to go along with that, so make sure you check out the virtual tour. That's going to go on until about August, I believe. So again, this is Casey from the local history and genealogy branch, and have a great day.